Hey everybody, welcome into another edition of Hog Heaven. What a week it has been, and what a great couple of guests we had on the show this week. Todd over from Camp Bow Wow, a brand new dog-loving facility opening here in Grand Prairie this week, I believe now. It's going to be a great opportunity for those of you who don't want those fur babies staying home all day while you're at work, or you're going out of town. A lot of different opportunities to use Todd over at Camp Bow Wow. And then our second conversation is, I love talking to Justin Byrd. I've gone on the record. I have a few guys on the AirHogs who I really enjoy having conversations with. Javion Randall, Matt Dean, but very high among all those guys, Justin Byrd. Just such a great, down-to-earth guy. We got a chance to talk about what he's looking forward to with the 2020 season now that he's just re-signed. And I think one of the coolest things we talked about, you'll have to have a chance to listen to it, but he mentions how important it is to have that significant other in your life when you're a minor league baseball player, when you're chasing the dream, what it's like to come home and have that person supporting you every night. So we'll take a quick break right here, but again, a couple of really good guests, Todd from Camp Bow Wow and Justin Byrd of your Texas AirHogs. We'll be right back on Hog Heaven after this. Hey everybody, you are in Hog Heaven. We welcome you back into another wonderful program here on the AirHogs Broadcast Network. Today I'm joined with someone, this is a really growing industry. The dog daycare, boarding, all those things, it's really starting to pick up a little bit more as people my age especially have their, as we call fur babies that you want to make sure are pretty well taken care of. I've got Todd with Camp Bow Wow here joining us today on Hog Heaven. Todd, appreciate you coming in.
Thanks for having me, it's great.
So I was talking there a moment ago about this growing need, right, for dog daycare, where when I was a kid, your dog stayed home and guarded your house. But now you don't want your dog home all day. You want to make sure that he's hanging out with his friends the same way we would want to be.
And even, I was maybe a little older than you. Mine had a chain that was attached to a dog house that just sat outside. And I remember being sad that my puppy was outside as a kid and convinced my parents, let him come in and stay in my room anyway. And we have advanced this far to having kind of luxury dog daycare and boarding, same as the non-fur baby kind, really. We offer the same services, such as, we'll feed them and make sure they play and clean them up if they need to. Not much different than kids.
Yeah, absolutely. And you mentioned there's kind of a few different facets to the business, right? You can take your dog, not your dog, but someone else's dog from 9 to 5 when they're at work. You can going on a cruise, need someone to make sure your dog's well taken care of, leave it with you guys for 4, 5, 6 days at a time, or really just want to your dog's got a big date coming up, right? Want to make sure,
or you have a big date.
Hey, yeah, right, maybe a double date, my dog,
right,
her dog, want to make sure everybody's looking fresh and clean. Come get the trim and maybe a little tooth cleaning for the pup as well.
Yeah, you can play with us all day Friday. We'll give them a bath before they leave. You have a clean pup for the weekend.
So how did you get into this? I know it's you mentioned you obviously are an animal lover as a kid, had a dog, but where along the line did you decide, I want to work with animals and play with dogs every day?
Yeah, so my wife and I, we used to be in the military, and when I did things backwards, career first, college second, and then a stint in corporate America. In one of my programs, I had to do a business plan, and my plan was on a dog daycare, and I just made it up from what I could find on the early days of the internet and came up with a dog daycare idea. And lo and behold, some of the artwork I used was actually from Camp Bow Wow, and this was when they had first started. But it was way too expensive to get into after we left the military because they didn't have enough franchises to be vetted by the Small Business Administration. So that was out. Corporate America I went, and then I was in the healthcare industry and got laid off a couple years ago and decided corporate America and me, maybe not the best And so I'm like, what about that dog daycare? And my 2 Labradors that went to Camp Bow Wow for the last 10 years were like, well, what about a Camp Bow Wow? And we looked again and found out that now that they had enough franchises, the Small Business Administration would pick it up. So it became way more affordable. If you could meet the Small Business Administration requirements, you could get into the business. So we said, let's go for it. And our dogs are happy. I've been bringing them as we're going through construction. And it's like, anybody's kids in your industry, you take yours to the baseball diamond or take mine to dog daycare and let them play all day. So that's how we got into it.
I think Zach can certainly attest when Ambelina comes up here, it's certainly her own little playground at the stadium. But it's got to be so cool being able to bring your dog with you to work every day, knowing that, yes, he gets to spend time with you, that's great, but now he's going to make all these new friends. They are going to have this opportunity to laugh and to play and to run around and be healthy and exercise, right?
Absolutely. And one of the things that, when I worked in corporate America, I felt so guilty was I'd get in the car at 7:30 in the morning, my dogs would go into a crate, and then I would head off to work, get home at 5 or 6. My wife or I would have to figure out some way to let them out during the day. And what a great thing daycare is I don't feel guilty. I just take them to daycare, drop them off. We're open from 7 to 7, Monday through Saturday, and open a little bit on Sunday and holidays as well. So if you're away, you can pick them up. But the guilt's gone. So now I can just if I was still in corporate America, drop my dog off at daycare, and they can play all day with their buddies and then pick them up.
So one of the things, I know me especially when I want to take a trip, right? One of the things that's stressful is trying to find what are you going to do with your dog or your animal. I know when we brought my dog with us to Houston a couple times, my mom might have preferred we left it somewhere, right? But people get nervous about the boarding process. What is it with you guys that makes it a little bit different, and people can be a little bit more secure when they leave their animal with you, overnight for a few days in a row? Yeah,
there's a couple of things. First off, that's how I started. One time I deployed and I called up my parents, hey, can you take my dog? And they're like, sure. But maybe if they were on vacation as well, or you're going with your parents on vacation or with your family, well, then who takes them? Well, we can do that. The process that would make you feel more comfortable, hopefully, is all of our counselors that would watch your dogs at camp. They're CPR certified and pet first aid certified. In addition to that, they also, we have exclusive training from the franchise. We are a franchise, which affords us other things like an app. You can watch your dog on an app, play all day. My wife and I went on a vacation probably 6 months ago, and we went to Ireland for a trip, and we could get up in the morning, drink our coffee, and see the dog running around. Okay, they're fine, so you can check on them throughout the day, which makes it really nice. And it doesn't take a whole lot to get in. We offer a free interview process to make sure that the dog can socialize and be friendly with other dogs. Once they pass that interview, then they can be a customer for life. They can board or do daycare.
You mentioned the interview process in the corporate America world which you worked, right? Whoever spoke first, kind of giving up that edge when you have an interview. How's it work with a dog? If they bark before you speak, or they they giving up their advantage there, or how's that work?
No, it's about a 45-minute process where we just bring them into the play yard by themselves to see how they act in the building or the facility with other dogs barking and jumping around and around them to see if they're comfortable in that environment. They're not always super comfortable. It's a new environment for them. Then we'll bring in a dog of the same sex on leash, with them on leash, to kind of pass through to see if that goes over pretty well. And then we'll take that dog out, bring a same-sex dog in, and make sure that they also kind of pass by, sniff each other, and there's no reaction. And if that goes fine, then we'll bring 3 of them, all 3 back in together, and see if that has a good reaction as well. And most, 98%, 99% of the time, they, a little nervous, but they get over it pretty fast. And then we drop the leashes after we find that that's fine, and let them kind of do their own thing. Once that goes okay, we just start running other dogs from another play yard in, and after that, just kind of watch, in that 45 minutes where the parent stays and watches on a TV screen out in the lobby. And then we let that whole process take at least 3 hours, because just like kids, if they get tired or grumpy, we can usually vet that out within the 3-hour time frame.
So you guys have a pretty big day coming up here. I think it's next week, right?
That's right.
Doors are opening for the first time, accepting your first fur babies in.
That's right. Thursday will be our first official soft open day. We start Monday with some corporate training from the franchise, Monday and Tuesday. Wednesday we start playing around with some interviews and learning how the corporate franchise wants us to really do it. We've all had an online training, but we'll do it by hand. And then Thursday, corporate will show up in the morning, and about 11 o'clock that day they'll say, "See you later," and we're on to run the place by ourselves.
So you guys fully staffed? Everybody you're looking for?
Yep.
Are you still possibly looking to bring on some youngsters who enjoy spending time with animals?
So just like any industry, we have turnover. I have a team picked right now. So we have about 18 people that are in line to start working. They'll be in that training, but as time goes on and they have different career paths and they grow as individuals, they could end up moving on, and I can always use a good flow of a pool of people to replace those. But yeah, I accept interviews and resumes throughout the day with people and dogs.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's just so great to see you being able to work on something you're passionate about, right? And this is such a growing industry. It is. There's still room for growth, right? Where do you see this going in 5 or 10 years with the way animals and pets are trending? Is there going to be cat daycares? Are we going to see that somewhere?
Well, I think there are some. I'm not real familiar with them, but there are. Veterinarians have been taking care of pets, and they still do, and we don't take away from what they offer. We work together with the vets in the area that board cats, dogs, any animals, but not all dogs are compatible with the group play, and veterinarians locally will take care of that. But as you said earlier, the industry is growing, and we have to grow with it and meet the customer demands. We're going to start enrichment, which is not just play with other dogs, but in the next, after we open, we'll introduce different smells to stimulate the scent of dogs around that are proven to be, fun for the dogs. A blueberry in a corner or something, and different toys that can act for enrichment with the dogs. And then also individual time we can take a counselor and your pup off one-on-one time, and they can play together as well.
Do you find that there's a certain amount of days that works best for an animal to come with you guys? If Zach here works Monday through Friday, is it best for him to have the dog there every Monday through Friday, or do the animals enjoy sometimes on Wednesdays they get to just lay around and do nothing at home?
Yeah, it's just like humans. Some days you're energetic and some you aren't. My dogs, personally, I have 2 labs. We find it they do great whatever day you take them to daycare. They don't need to go every day because they sleep usually after you take them to daycare for a good 2 to 3 days after that. At home, you can't even roust them off the couch. But as that 3rd day, you can start to see, maybe time for daycare again, and that's ours. I have known of and heard from other Camp Bow Wow owners that Monday through Friday, the dogs come to daycare. The great thing about it is, some people's dogs can be destructive at home. You've seen all sorts of memes and pictures on the internet with the dogs shaming of ripped your couch apart or whatever. The great thing about Camp Bow Wow is if they rip something of mine apart, it doesn't cost you anything. So right. You can bring your dog to us and it can tear up whatever I give it. I'll replace it. You don't have to worry about it.
I'm sure there's some people out there saying, I have been waiting for this place to open up. I want to get my dog in line. I want to get my interview scheduled. What's the best way to get in touch with you? Make sure that they have their pupper ready to go so that when you guys roll the doors open on Thursday, they've had their interview and everything they need.
Yeah, the easiest thing to do is get on our website, read the requirements. There's a list that's probably, I think, 7 different things you might need. And it gives a link to our all of the pricing, our phone number. So if you just go to www.campbowwow.com/grand-prairie, all the information you need to come sign up for the first day is all on there.
Well, we're certainly excited. We really are. It's cool that, especially one of our employees, Kelsey's excited to be able to maybe put her dog somewhere close during the work season when we're here so long. So we appreciate all the stuff that you do, not only for the community, for for the dog owners to have that peace of mind, right, where they're out all day and want to make sure their guys are okay.
Yeah, I met Kelsey at one of our first events where we were out in the community, and we had a great conversation about her dog and about the AirHogs. We're excited to understand some of the community events that you all do and what we can help you and the community, get our names out there and our business to help support the local area as well. I look forward to it.
It should be great. Todd, Camp Bow Wow, you guys are open Thursday the 20th will be that first soft opening.
Yes.
Everybody come out, check it out. Make sure you get your dogs pre-interviewed ahead of time, though. You don't want to show up and be turned away that first day.
No, you definitely need that interview.
Todd, we appreciate you coming out.
Yeah, thank you.
We'll see you next time.
All right, thank you.
I heard we're having a song and dance next time.
Oh, no.
We'll be right back in Hog Heaven after this.
At Texas Paint, we know how valuable your time is. So keep painting. We're on the way. We can be where you need us, when you need us, anywhere in the Dallas-Fort Worth area. With free 2-hour delivery of paints, stains, sundries, and expert product advice. Save time, save money. Find the location closest to you at TexasPaint.com. That's free 2-hour delivery from Texas Paint. Go to TexasPaint.com. That's TexasPaint.com.
Hey everybody, welcome back in on another fantastic segment. You are in Hog Heaven, and we are in Hog Heaven joining one of our favorite players on the team. Justin Byrd just inked that contract for 2020.
I did.
Happy to have you back.
Thanks, man. I'm so excited. Been excited. Hoping every day, you just never know as a player. Like we were talking about before, jobs are so hard to come by. So when you finally can put a pen on a paper and know that this is where I'm going to be to start the season, man, it's a great feeling.
You can feel that excitement, especially you had a Facebook post the other day about you get a chance to continue to follow your dreams. And that's what this is about, right? There are so many guys out there who literally get pissed off when they strike out, who are angry after an 0-for-7 stretch. And then there's you who you feel blessed to be able to play the game. You're happy to be out here. And I feel like there's very little that phases you because you're just so happy to be playing baseball.
No doubt. It's a long-term mindset, and that's something that took me a long time to figure out. In baseball, we want everything now, right? We want to be signed now. We want to sign our contract now. We want to, we want to go 4 for 4 today so we can get out of here right now. And that's just that's a recipe for failure. I mean, you're just not going to be happy. And so that long-term minded way of going about your day is just going to lead to success. And so all of a sudden the 0 for 4s don't matter as much. Not that you're okay with it, but you're just not killing yourself mentally. And that's the goal. It's such a long season, such a long career, and I'm just so thankful to have it. But the longer I've been doing it, the happier I am with what's to come instead of just what I'm doing today. So,
one of the other things I noticed, you're looking for any chance you can get to have some ABs right now. I know there's maybe not a ton of games going on, but if Justin Byrd hears about maybe a pickup game or something, I feel like you're showing up looking for some live ABs.
Yeah. Eastfield College is right down the street from my house. My dad coaches there, and so I'm blessed to have that space where I can go and get some work in and face some college pitchers and just give back a little bit. And you start to, when you put yourself out there, you end up getting a lot, but you're also able to give a lot. And so it's just kind of one of those things where anytime I can get on a field with a younger team or a college team or other pro guys that are looking to find their way in. And we had a guy out here the other day that was wanting to throw, and I'm just in the stadium and I want to pitch. And so I got in there and had a live at bat against him, and Billy caught an eye, and you never know what can happen when you're on the field with certain people because it's a network relationship business. And so, man, I love it.
You mentioned giving back and interacting with the fans. We've seen you interact with some fans on Facebook this offseason, and I don't know if that's something the AirHogs have ever really had in a player before where, you're really, really willing to reach out and have a conversation in the offseason, kind of like some of those NBA players on Twitter, right?
I care. I genuinely care, man, and I don't know – I can't speak for other ball players. I know early in my career, it's so easy to just be overwhelmed with, I'm a professional baseball player and I got to laser focus on what I'm doing, and you kind of make it all about yourself. But the longer you play and the more thankful you become for just the simple opportunities like having a job, the reason why you have that job and the reason we even go out there and get to play baseball every night is because of the fans that show up and pay their hard-earned money to watch you play. And that's just so important to me. I love people, and I love giving back. And I was pumped. I signed my contract, and you probably saw. I was like, man, first 3 people to text me, get some tickets. And I put my personal phone number on there. My wife was like, hey, what are you doing? I don't even care. I want people to call me. I want to interact with people because that's truly what matters. At the end of the day, we're going to play baseball for about this amount of time, but we have a potential to impact people for long term, and again, that long term mindset is what's going to make us all happy.
And you're absolutely right. One of the coolest things about working in the industry we do is we see the future of the game coming through the gates every single night. And I truly think when it comes to this league, our league does such a great job of interacting with those young fans. You see so many outfielders warming up in left and right field, throwing to the kid on a berm.
Right.
What's it like for you to be able to come in every night knowing I'm probably going to make some kid's day today?
It's fun. It's genuinely, it's fun. It makes you realize what you have. I mean, it hits you in the face. And if you can't realize that, then you got bigger issues, because when you have a little kid that's out there, the biggest smile on his face just from you doing a simple thing like tossing a ball to him, it really puts things into perspective, and you can't be anything but humbled by it. So it's neat to be able to impact those kids in such a positive way just by doing simple things that really don't take a lot of time or effort from us,
So let's kind of turn the attention a little bit to some of your off-season preparation. You've mentioned before the importance of getting live at-bats in the off-season. Why is that so important opposed to doing just cage work and tee work? In today's baseball, you don't come into spring training looking to get warm anymore, right? You come into spring training ready to play.
Ready to go. This will be my 6th year of pro ball. I know I can hit. I know I can play. Of course, you want to tweak things here and there. I mean, Tiger Woods has a swing coach, right? We all need an extra set of eyes, or we need to kind of get in the lab and do some mechanical work from time to time. But the longer I've played, the more I've realized that if I just put myself in a good position to compete at a high level and have my timing ready to go by the time I get into camp, and I'm set myself up for success. If I can not think about mechanics during a game, during an at-bat, and just simply be on time and compete at a high level, I'm going to be successful. And so that's kind of what I've shifted my focus towards during the off season, is not so much nitpicking the little things, but knowing, man, it's okay. If I hook a ball, it's a double, instead of just being so adamant about making everything perfect, because there's just nothing perfect in this game.
When you first joined the team last year, you were talking about how fortunate you were to get that second shot in Grand Prairie after you started your career here with the AirHogs. What was last year like for you, playing in front of the home fans? And I know you're excited to play this year. Yeah. What's it going to be like to really, as Zach and I coined them, to have those bird watchers back again?
It's awesome. I mean, it's just I've been blessed in Dallas to be a part of a lot of different things, and to be from here and to know a lot of people, and a lot of those people have supported me throughout my entire career. And when I'm playing in California or Chicago or Cleveland or wherever it may be, people just don't get to follow you like they want to. And so to be close to home and have the just immense amount of support that people have always had or given me, but just haven't been able to show, it's great that they can show that now. And I'm just so thankful and honored to have them close to be able to perform and I guess put on a show, because that's what we're here to do, right? We're here to entertain. So be able to entertain those people that have been watching from afar for so long.
So when you sit back, and I'm not sure how often you do this, but when you look at what the things you've already done here in the game, you played at San Jack Junior College, which by many accounts one of the best community college, JC college level baseballs in Texas,
best,
if not
best.
The country.
Absolutely.
You won a national championship at Cumberland University. Do you sit back and realize, like, man, I've had a really cool career at any point?
At this point, I do. Early on, it's, again, you want everything now. It's like, and then when you don't get it, you're so disappointed. And it doesn't matter how much you achieve, you're always chasing something, right? And this game is a game of failure. So you let that failure take precedent over the little successes, and it just beats you up. But now at 27, 6 years deep into pro ball, I mean, it's been 10 years since I was at San Jac almost, and you really are able to take a step back and just be so thankful for the journey and the process as a whole. And it allows you to appreciate the successes more than you ever even care about the little failures and speed bumps in the road, And so, yeah, it's really, really neat. I try not to get too enamored by what happened in the past, because I'm still playing and I'm still wanting to persevere and to grind and be present. But every once in a while, it's cool to take a step back and be like, man, it's been fun. It's been fun for sure, but it's not over. Yeah. And so maybe one of these days when it's completely over, I'll be able to really sit back and know, wow, you did something special, even though I didn't achieve my dreams. And I want to elaborate that on for a minute, if that's okay.
Yeah.
We got a little bit of time.
Sure.
Not much, but you talk to pro guys all the time, especially independent guys that have been in AA and AAA, and they never made it to the big leagues, right? Because growing up, our dream is to play in the big leagues, and that's what we do, from being at Sanjak to Division I's and playing ball and putting in all this time and mastering a craft. We do it to make it to the big leagues and achieve this ultimate goal. And so as minor league players, as independent players, when we don't achieve that goal of making it to the big leagues, we feel like failures. And that's a hard thing, because people say, oh, you're playing pro ball, you're getting to travel all over the country, you're getting paid a little bit. You're the top 1% of all baseball players out there, but yet you feel like a failure because you didn't achieve the pinnacle of that. And so that's a hard thing to kind of deal with mentally, because we are successful, right? Yeah. We're incredibly successful, and we get to do some amazing things because of the time we've spent perfecting a craft. But there's still part of us that feels like we're not achieving what we set out to achieve, and that's burdensome at times. And so it's just an interesting dynamic. So I would encourage you to ask some other players about that too. That might be a good question if you want to get philosophical and kind of talk life, because to the outside we're so successful, right? Oh, man, you've done some amazing things. You get to play in front of fans every night, but deep down there's still part of us that feels like failures. And it's something that when you can overcome that and really be appreciative for the journey as a whole and the process as a whole, and look back and be like, man, I've really achieved some amazing things. You become better. You become a better player, a better human.
Because what's tough too, right, is every kid that's in the stadium out there, they'd trade spots with you in a minute, right? And as a kid, you didn't care that if it was single A, double A, independent, or major league. Yeah. That was a pro baseball player. Yeah. That's all you can wrap your mind around. And now as we get to this level, there is that distinction of, man, I would do anything to get to double A. And the double A guy is saying, I would do anything to get to triple A. And the triple A guy obviously is an injury away from a chance in the big leagues. And you're right, you're the top 1%, if not even more, right? You might be in the top 0.5%, especially at the quality that this league plays at. There are guys, there are no doubt in my mind, you see Matzik get picked up from our team and pretty much go straight into AAA. Josh Prince went straight into AAA and hit 300 once he got there out of this league. These guys can go get it here, and it's frustrating because a lot of times it feels like it's timing, right? It's situation. There's 5 outfielders ahead of you. You're a second baseman in the Astros organization when Biggio was there or something like that.
And you start to realize that there's so much in this game that you can't control. And it's not even just baseball, it's life in general. You can put yourself in the best position to achieve success, but ultimately there's so many other factors that are not controlled by us. That really only, the grace of God and just having an understanding that there's a purpose for your life, allows you to sleep at night, because otherwise you're just going to be so pinned up and frustrated about things you can't control, and it's just going to eat you alive. So there's big league talent on this field every night, and that's what I want to encourage to the fans is, man, there's big league talent. And the Chinese guys are the best of the best in one of the largest countries in the world.
And I guarantee you too, if Yang Jin was made available at 19 years old playing shortstop the way he was to major league teams out there, they'd be all over that guy. They'd love to get their hands on a 19-year-old who plays like that.
You just put it into perspective. I mean, these guys are achieving so much coming from a country that's not as blessed athletically as we are here. And so that's something that would fire me up as a fan to come out and watch, because I know these guys, although they're not necessarily up to the caliber that we are on a day in and day out basis from a broad scope, just because we've been blessed with so much more, they are elite. And if you just put it into perspective about the things and the things that they've gone through to get to where they are, that's something worth watching. It's something worth paying a ticket for, or buying a ticket for. So there's just so much we can't control, and timing is key. You come up, like you said, Biggio, second baseman in the Astros organization, or a shortstop in the Yankees organization behind Jeter. You could
third
be
baseman behind Chipper.
We could go on all day long. Sometimes you can't control things, and you have to find a way to be content. And I don't mean content with failure, but just content with the process and content with the opportunities that you have had, because the opportunities I've had have been so much greater than 99.9% of the opportunities that a lot of baseball players have. So I find comfort in that, and I'm super thankful for it.
And I'm sure too, one of the things that you find comfort in is that home life, right? Because a lot of baseball players don't realize, or not even baseball players, fans, they don't realize how hard this life is on the significant others. I listen to a lot of different podcasts, and one of my favorite ones is hosted by Colin McHugh, a pitcher in Major League Baseball, whose wife traveled with him at every minor league stop, and she had to wait tables. She made wedding invitations for side money. There's all sorts of things that people don't realize the player's wife has to go through. Talk a little bit about, if you're comfortable with it,
Man,
how your wife
I love
keeps
it.
you happy and keeps you afloat.
She, first of all, she's incredible. She's pursuing her dreams as well. She works in TV and film, and we're high school sweethearts. So we've grown up together. We started dating at 15 and 16 years old, and from the beginning, we were just very open about the dreams that we wanted to chase. And instead of pulling each other away from those dreams, we kept encouraging each other. And to this day, she's the one that nudges me in the morning and says, hey, get up and go work out. Or, hey, get up and go hit or throw or whatever it may be. Or, hey, you need to go see Tim and do an interview. You know, those are important things. And she understands that. And to have her, I genuinely don't know if I would be the same player on the field without having that structure at home, that constant support, because she's the one that keeps me from eating myself alive. You know, as a single ball player that's just hyper focused, you tend to focus a lot on the failures and what you're not doing, and having her at home that doesn't allow me to focus on failure but only on, you know, the work and the progress and the successes, it makes a huge difference, and something you just can't put a price on.
Yeah, it's great that we got a chance to talk to Travis last year about it. You know, it was the first season really he was able to live and play at home with his wife for the first time. And, you know, being able to go home and see your significant other every day, it doesn't matter if you win or you lost. You've got that hour with each other to just decompress. We'll go get him again the next day. And it helps you, like you said, be a better ball player.
No doubt. You know, I leave the stadium, and instead of going home and feeling like I need to, you know, go hit or go throw or go do something, right? It's just go home and just be me and be a family man and love on those that are close to me and care about me. And it allows you to come back the next day with a fresh, clean mindset. So it's invaluable, man. I can't put a price on it. You're starting to see that in your life, I bet.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
You know, last time we talked to you, you kind of started getting into the world of TV and film yourself. You were in a movie with who I think was the best on-film president ever with Martin Sheen.
Yeah.
You were doing a little bit of a photo shoot yesterday.
I did.
What's the world of in front of the camera looking like for Justin Byrd these days?
Man,
lately?
as ball players, we put on a show every night. That's what we get paid to do. We touched on that a little bit. You know, we're nothing without the fans, and the entertainment world is the entertainment world. It's all to get people out of their reality, right? And that's why they come to a ballpark after a long day's work, to get out of their reality and watch some guys do something cool. And so it's been an easy transition for me to just jump into some TV and film, modeling and acting. And it's so new and it's unique. We were talking about them, you know, sitting there yesterday in a chair getting makeup put on me and my hair done. And it's totally different, but there's a lot of similarities, and it's unique, man. I love pursuing new things. I'm passionate about taking opportunities that God gives me and seeing what I can make of them, because there's a reason people are put in your life. And so this isn't something I necessarily sought out, but something that's just kind of fallen in my lap, and something that I'm just running with. It's not conflicting with baseball whatsoever at all. I'm able to wake up in the morning and train and prepare my body and my mind. But now I can
probably goes hand in
kind
hand.
It really does, because I can put
the model at the end of the day.
I can put this you know, good-looking athletic body, so to speak, that I work so hard on simply for just on-field purposes to use in front of the camera or off the field, and the financial burden that we carry as minor league baseball players and not really earning a lot of money throughout the year. And you see so many guys that have to resort to coaching and doing lessons and just anything to make ends meet during the off season. This is a lucrative avenue, a very lucrative avenue that could potentially open the door for long-term success, to where I can genuinely play baseball for a longer period of time without my wife saying, "Hey, we need to make more money. It's time to hang them up." It's something that I can support my family with, stay in shape, keep the entertainment mind, and play baseball for a long period of time.
So when's the movie coming out? When can we expect the red carpet invite?
12 Mighty Orphans. I played a referee, just a little background part. Wasn't major, but it was neat. Martin Sheen, Luke Wilson, and some other guys. Robert Duvall was in it. And that's supposed to
just some small actors.
That's supposed to come out around Thanksgiving.
Okay.
So it's that classic football movie. Great story, but yeah, go check it out. It's around Thanksgiving, I believe, is the date for it. But man, my long-term goal with this, and again, I'm really working hard on the long-term mindset with all of this. It's not just something I want to do today to be a model and an actor and a professional baseball player, and I really don't want to make it about me. I'm starting to see a way for minor league players, baseball players, to get into the other side of the entertainment business and provide for themselves and their families so that they can continue to pursue their dreams. There's so many opportunities on the TV and film side of things and the modeling side of things that us as baseball players and our personalities and what we're used to doing on a daily basis, man, we fit right into that side of things as well. But it's not something that's ever really. You see the big leaguers, Christian Yelich doing ESPN's or the Sports Illustrated Body magazine and the issues, and
how many baseball movies are made?
Oh my gosh!
Maybe a minor league guy could have played, the guy getting a double in the third. There's so many opportunities.
There's so many opportunities, but it's not something that minor league guys have typically tapped into because you see, big leaguers have access to it, but I'm not that guy, so I can't do it. That's totally not true. So my long-term goal is to kind of find a way to bring it all together to where I can help minor league guys or facilitate the opportunity for minor league guys to make a living doing some TV and film work in front of the camera during the off season and still play baseball and prepare to be big leaguers. So
there it is. Always think about others.
Hey man, that's what it's all about. That's why we're here, right?
Absolutely. So. Justin, I don't know. As always, this one kind of got away from us a little bit. A little 10-minute chat turns
talk
into
forever,
20.
Man, I'm cool with it.
I always enjoy it, man. I'm beyond excited to have you back on the 2020 team. I've mentioned everybody that we talked to. I got a feeling about the team this year. We finished really strong last year. We've got a great group of guys. I think the pitching staff coming back that we have is pretty solid, and I think the AirHogs are going to make a little bit of a run in the South this year.
No doubt. You see some guys on social media that are like, oh, they're just this or that because there's such a stigma attached to the Texas AirHogs. But, man, there's great people in this clubhouse, in the front office. It really is a great organization. And, man, we have nothing but the world in front of us, so we're going to go get it.
Yeah, and hey, when we start that first homestand 5-1, don't act all surprised because we called it here. Justin,
we got great talent, man.
We appreciate it, and I'm sure we'll have you on again before the season starts.
Anytime.
Be right back after this. All right, can I get a grilled chicken club, extra bacon, please? So just regular bacon. Just a grilled chicken sandwich then. Hey everybody, I appreciate you guys joining us on what's been another great episode of Hog Heaven. I want to say a special thank you to both of our guests this week. Todd over from Camp Bow Wow. Really looking forward to them opening up. It's going to be over off Beltline Road, right behind the Taco Bell there on Beltline Road. It's again, if you're a parent to a fur baby, you have a dog, go check it out. It might be a great opportunity for your dog to make some new friends, to socialize, and for you to go to work guilt-free a couple days a week. And again, Justin Byrd, big thank you to Justin for coming out and joining us. I'm already starting to look forward to that 2020 season and getting a chance to talk with guys like Justin, and hopefully we'll get Matt Dean on here pretty soon as well, as he just re-signed his contract. Getting a chance to talk to some of these guys, seeing how they're looking forward to 2020, how excited they are for the upcoming season, really gets me amped up and ready for what could be maybe the best season of AirHogs baseball we've ever seen. And that's one of the best things about baseball. Hope springs eternal every single spring. And as major league teams head to spring training, we're starting to think about AirHogs baseball. And again, Justin Byrd just re-signed. Great conversation. We appreciate him coming in and joining us. That's all that we have for everybody this week. Again, I'm Tim Costello. A big thanks to my producer, Zach Lee, and both of our guests, Todd and Justin Byrd. We'll see you next week in Hog Heaven.